Olive started clapping today on her birthday. Lyndon started walking on her first birthday. I don't know what Maple did on her first birthday, but Olive started clapping. Happy birthday to you! The place where we officially launched from was an Airbnb in Baxter, Tennessee. And I found it because it had a long driveway that could accommodate the Airstream, and it was a house that we could stay while we got comfortable with the idea of living in the Airstream. So I thought I was really clever when I found this place that had a super long driveway, and at the end of that driveway was a covered kind of like carport. We'd be able to just pull the Airstream straight in, and the van would be under this covered carport. And I figured we could work on the van and the Airstream there. It'd be right next to our door. How perfect. What I didn't consider is that it's off a busy country highway, which was kind of a mistake in booking the place, but what I was focused on at the time was finding a place with a long driveway that would accommodate an Airstream. There weren't really other houses around, so cars were just going so fast. You can't really tell on Google Maps always what is a busy highway and what's a deserted country road. So basically I set Michael up for the most difficult possible launch ever. Not only would he have to back up for the first time in the Airstream, but he would also have to back up into a busy highway, and that would have been fine if it was not a busy road and if there wasn't a blind curve on one side and a blind hill on the other side. So we got the Airstream in the driveway, and you know, we stayed there for 2 weeks. The whole time Michael's just dreading the day that we finally have to leave, because imagining getting the Airstream out of the driveway is so daunting.
It's a really busy road here.
The day comes and we decide to try, and I go out to the street to try to manage traffic. And also we have 3 little kids, so 2 are inside just like looking out the window, Olive strapped to my chest, and I'm like starting to see what it would feel like to try to stop traffic on one side. I can't do both sides, there's only one of me. So I quickly figure out that that's not really ideal, and the kids are just starting to get more antsy and screaming, and I have to go inside and deal with them. So Michael's out there on his own trying to figure out how to back up around these blind curves. And I run out to try to direct him a little bit. It's gonna be hard just to even maneuver the Airstream out in order to, you know, back up and then pivot around and start going straight. So not only is it dangerous, but it's like, it's hard for us to calculate how, you know, how much to turn. Everything is just like super duper advanced mode, and we're having the hardest time with 3 now screaming kids. What we end up doing is calling the owners of our Airbnb. I already knew that our Airbnb hosts were RVers. That's one of the reasons why I booked with them, because I thought, oh, okay, worst case scenario, we'll be dealing with some experienced RVers, and maybe they would help us if we have any questions. Turns out that was the best decision I ever made. We called them, said, we're trying to leave, but we're scared. We don't think we can do it on our own. We need some help. Is there any way you could come over and help us? And he did. He figured out right away that backing up into the country road was not what we should do. They actually turned the Airstream around in the front lawn and then pulled out going forwards into the country highway. And that was much better. But that means they had to turn this whole Airstream and van around. In the front yard, there was a mailbox and a big ditch, so there was lots of stuff to maneuver just within the front yard. Weird, there's like a cord coming out of the earth. Who knows what that is? Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. It was a crazy ordeal, but we're so lucky that the Airbnb host came over to help us. What's the cord coming out of the grass? And that was our first introduction to moving the Airstream. But once Michael was on the road, he said it was pretty easy.
Yeah, the Airstream turns pretty well. It's not too bad.
That's awesome. Meanwhile, before that, we had spent an hour and a half trying to get it sorted ourselves. I don't know what we would have done. Just stayed. We have our Airbnb hosts in Baxter to thank for that, because we would not have been able to do that on our own.
Wow.
You did it.
That was intense.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a harder first
I can't either.
departure spot, other than if we were on like a mountain road with a cliff.
You have a question?
Yeah.
What's your question?
Did Papa do it?
Papa did it. Can you believe it?
No.
Look behind you. Can you see?
No. I can't see.
Okay, well, when we drive out, you'll see.
Can we stop at Love's?
Yeah, I'll follow you to Love's. All right, we're gonna follow him to Love's because we love him. Guys, we're gonna follow Papa to Love's. We're gonna follow Papa to the gas station. meet us here, but he's going a little slower because he's pulling the Airstream. It wasn't obvious how to check in, so I decided to just drive around and look at everything first. It's our first night at a campground ever. And me and the girls just played mini golf. They called it putt-putt, while Papa got the campsite set up. Let's see how my packing job held up. Although I didn't secure anything before we left, did you?
I did the securing of the
all the
I did
stuff?
all the systems
Oh, good.
and stuff. But
'Cause
let's
I
see how
forgot.
your drawers and all the stuff you packed held up.
Something?
Yeah, stand over here, Lynn. Let Mama go first.
Oh, so that popped open, but everything's in Tupperware, so that's cool. Minimal mess. I wonder what happens when I open the fridge.
Can I show Mama something?
Lyndon, let's find out what happens when you open the fridge.
Nothing. So I guess we gotta just push on all the cabinets to double check to make sure that they're secured. Look at our beautifully packed van.
Can we
Looks
get
pretty
the
organized.
fake salad, Papa?
What you doing, Mama?
Making a play area for the kids.
That's not nice.
That's not nice.
That that fell off.
Oh.
No, but time out. Bless you, Mom.
Yeah, someone's gonna get you water.
Who?
Santa Claus. Well, last night was our first official camping night, and it went really well. It took like 2 hours for Maple to stay in her bed. There was no telling Maple to go in her bed. She's used to a crib or a pack and play, and even though she's really big and strong and she can climb out of either, it's some kind of mental, emotional security that she has when she's in a crib. She doesn't try to get out. But when she's in her bunk bed, there's no walls. I mean, there's this ladder, but there's that whole tempting opening for her to climb out of, and boy, does she. She likes to climb in and out. So I was up late last night Googling mesh netting to put over her bed and stuff, because there's nothing that you can do to make Maple do what she doesn't want to do. I'll be right back. I'm gonna push Lyndon. So our biggest challenge living here so far has been keeping Maple in her bed. But the funny thing is, once she decided she wanted to go to bed, she just crawled right in with a book, read a book for 10 minutes, and then fell asleep. And now she has a bed where she can go in and out of it when she pleases, and that's gonna be a challenge for us right now. But other than that, our first night was a success. The master bedroom is very comfortable. It's a rainy day and it's a Monday, so that means most of the museums are closed. But lucky for us, the Corvette Museum is open. Well, Papa has to work today, so I took the girls to the Corvette Museum, and there's a Corvette cafe. It's lunchtime, so we're gonna get something to eat, and they're all smiling at me. At least Olive is.
Mommy, look.
Maple's not.
Look.
What are we looking at? Oh, what is that?
That's a bee.
That's not a bee. I don't know what kind of bug it is, though. Do you want to try to pet it?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't know if it bites or something. Now that Michael's back at work, it means I'm gonna be spending a lot of time with the girls doing outings on our own, which is cool. It's just a different kind of thing. Okay, we're gonna go in and have lunch.
What's so big?
What do you want for lunch?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, because the bench is wet.
Well, we can eat inside. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
You can do it. Yeah. Whoops. Go, Olive, go.
And it was dark and crazy. There could be bears.
Bears or bats in there?
Yes.
Yeah. It's the morning after night 3, and last night Maple stayed in her bed. I mean, she was running around maybe for about 15 minutes, but then she went in her bed and put her head on her pillow and stayed in her bed, and I think I figured out a trick to keep it going. I'll tell them a story about my kindergarten if they lay down and keep their heads on their pillows. Then the minute they put their head off their pillow, I would stop telling the story. So last night I told them a story for about 45 minutes and both of them fell asleep. I guess I'm that boring, which is great. So it's the 3rd morning and everyone's well rested and it's really starting to feel like home. So I think we found a solution to the Maple staying in bed problem. And if not, I have something coming, some kind of apparatus I think might work, and it's being Amazon Primed to our next campsite, which we're leaving for this morning. We're gonna go to Nashville, but not Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to Nashville, Indiana. Is this your table? Is this your table?
That's my table.
Is this your table? We stopped at Cracker Barrel and had lunch, me and the girls, and then we got back on the road. And just a few minutes ago, we spotted Papa in the Airstream. You see him? He's going on a turn. Pretty cool. So we're going to arrive at the KOA at the same time. Here he is.
Where are we?
We're at the KOA. Oh my gosh, look at that treehouse.
Can I live in it?
Oh, Papa's pulling over, I think, so we can pass him. Hi. You want to go check in?
Yeah, go check in.
Okay, I'll go check in.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So we checked in and we're here for the next 2 days. It looks like there's no phone service and there's not that much to do, but there is a swing set. Since she took over my bed, I'm taking over her bassinet to get some work done this morning because nobody's awake yet. It's so wonderful waking up in the middle of a campground. The smells and the sounds, it's just so cool. Oh, there's a guy. We've got lots of new neighbors. Just working on one of our videos. We're a little behind. So obviously it takes some getting used to living in such a small space. We're always kind of like stepping around each other, and you just have to think about like where your body is when you're in the Airstream because it is such a small space. But a couple of other things that I'm just kind of still struggling to get used to. One is I'm just always a little bit dirty. Like my feet are dirty, my hands are dirty. I usually just kind of need a shower. And the other one is I always have 3 to 10 bug bites. Those are kind of like the negative things trying to get used to. The positive things are it's so easy to clean up in here because it's so small. When I want to clean up at the end of the day, it takes me like 10 minutes. So that's cool. And cleaning up after dinner is easy. Just clean up in general is so easy. Also, if I want to find something, everything in here has its place. So I literally know where every single thing is. All the stuff that in a normal house I'm just like always searching for, I know where everything is in here. So there's pros and cons to every living situation, and it's been interesting to figure out what the pros and cons are of Airstream living. I think the thing that's bugging me most right now are the bug bites, but that's just part of camping. We're on week 1 of full-time RV living, and we're absolutely getting into the groove. Not many things have gone wrong. Everything seems to be going really well. One thing is we didn't have hot water for the first few days, and we don't even know why. It's working now, so who cares? We'll just kind of go with it and deal with it if the problem comes up again. One thing I know is that I must be liking it because when it was raining for 3 days in a row, and Michael offered for us to go stay in a hotel. And my first thought was, no, I don't want to stay in a hotel. So that must mean that I'm enjoying it. I find it really cozy in there, and I really like having to simplify and having only one of everything, and everything goes in its place. This is our second campsite. So far, so good on the campsites. We've been doing pull-throughs. So like at this one, if you can see, we don't even have to unhook. I guess you call it unhitch. We're heading up to Chicago so we can spend 2 weeks with Michael's family. So we're kind of going fast up from Cookeville, Tennessee, where we picked up the Airstream. We want to get up to Chicago so we can spend 2 weeks with family, relax, regroup, get some stuff figured out. And then we'll head back down south because we're going to our first full-time families hangout in Boone, North Carolina. So we've got plans for the next month. As far as acclimating to the lifestyle, one thing I've noticed is if I let it, I can let anxiety kind of creep in, because sometimes I can't help but be like, oh, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Like, am I supposed to be checking email? Am I supposed to be doing this or that? Because in regular life, I'm juggling a lot more in a sense, but so far in this lifestyle, I'm juggling less, and it involves a lot more being in the moment, which I want to be living in the moment, so it's a good thing, but it's definitely something that's gonna take some practice, because it's easy to let your mind kind of start worrying rather than just being calm and being present and just playing with the kids and watching with the kids. In essence, that's my job right now, is just being a mom to my kids and making videos, but that comes secondary. My main job is to be here with my kids and be present in the moment.
Happy birthday to you.
And I have to kind of tell myself over and over, like, you don't need to think about other things, just be in the moment.
What kind of leaf is that?
Oh no. Oh, that's a maple leaf.
What kind of leaf is that?
That's a pine tree leaf.
Oh, what kind of leaf does maple have?
She has a maple leaf.
Maple has a maple leaf? That's funny.
We're packing up to go to a new campsite today, so before we get in the car, we're gonna take a little nature walk, get some energy out, and look around this campsite before we move on to the next one. One of the reasons we wanted the Airstream was so we could get closer to nature, but so far we've just been figuring out how to live in the Airstream. We've been settling in, so we haven't done much nature walking yet. So far, since we've been in the Airstream, Maple has not set down her Daniel Tiger for more than a couple minutes at a time. I think she's really finding comfort in her Daniel Tiger. Who are you holding, Maple?
Honey.
Who's this guy?
This guy is Daniel Tiger and Tiger.
What's that leaf's name?
His name is Leaf.
Well, we just went for a really short walk, which was pretty challenging because everyone's just melting down about it. Lyndon's mad that her shoes are muddy. Maple's mad about something else.
A doggy licked her.
Oh, a doggy licked Maple.
Are you mad, Lyndon?
Yeah,
Why are you mad?
because it's taking too long and so far away.
We can skip to the hill and then we can see the RV. Do you want to see the top of the RV with me?
Yeah,
Okay. You want to skip?
yeah.
Everyone kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I think. I see the Airstream. Thanks, Maple made a video. Maple makes a video.
Hi, Mama.
Hi! You gonna interview
And
me?
hi, Papa. Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa.
We're getting ready to leave. We're gonna go to Indiana, so we're making sure the RV is all closed up and all the drawers are closed.
I do circles.
Yeah, Maple's explaining it. And then we're gonna get in the minivan right now, all the kids. So let's turn off the camera.
Olive.
How's everybody doing? Was that a good drive? Maple, was that a good drive?
That's a good drive.
Are you hungry?
Yeah.
We're in Indiana Beach, Indiana. It's really just a pit stop for us. We're trying to get to Chicago to see Michael's family, and we're stopping every 2 hours on the way. Today, me and the girls went to the pool. That was pretty intense, going to the pool with 3 kids that can't swim. Hi. Okay, taking 3 kids, 3 and under, to a pool by yourself is no joke. I'm just really glad there's a lifeguard here. I think the most fun they had was getting their shoes wet. That was really exciting for everybody. The big girls were fine because the kiddie pool's only 1.5 feet.
It's like swimming.
But Olive had to be watched the entire time, like very closely, because she just wants to jump right in even though she can't swim. Backwards. Good girl. We're starting to get into the swing of things. I feel like I'm into it. I like doing this right now.
Yay! Did I blow the candle?
Yeah, and Maple did.
Oh.